Welcome back to our next episode of the Premium Advantage, baby, where we offer you solutions on personal commercial insurance, annual taxes, businesses, and nonprofits. All right, that's one of the topics that we're going to be talking about today. We'll be sharing some information about autism and the solutions that folks in this environment are seeking. Okay, it is a situation that a lot of us have heard about. It's a growing concern. There's solutions out there. So today we have a couple of professionals, experts in the industry, that are going to give us some aspects of regards to their relationship with regards to taxes, fundraising, the condition in itself, and to see what solutions are out there so folks can be actualized and have this information available to them. All right. Our guests tonight are Miss Cary Mollinedo. I know,
Hello.
right?
Thank you for having me,
She,
Roberto.
Thank you for being here. She is the president slash COO of ASD Hope and the Texas Autism Academy director. Thank you very much for joining us, Cary.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
We have also today Mr. Mitchell Sosa. Mitchell Sosa. You're muted, by the way.
Hey,
There you go.
everybody.
There you go. There you
Hey,
go.
everybody.
All right. All right.
Just want to say thank you for having me on.
Sure, man. Thank you for being here. Mitchell Sosa, CFA, CPA, CFF, ABV. I'm gonna let
Wow.
him explain that whenever he goes in there. But that's what I found on your description on your LinkedIn. All right. It'll be awesome to hear those details as people see them. That way they understand. Oh, this is the classification. This is the level of professionalism and information that I have available to me. Okay. It's a big deal. We're from Houston, Texas, so this is something that folks from Houston can know. Oh, this is available here. All right. And then hopefully jumping in, Miss Janet Degollado. She is an artist and a grant writing solution specialist. Hopefully she'll be able to jump in. We'll see how this goes. This is part of the emotion and the the principle of the premium advantage. Not just the information, not just the information. Is what is it coming? All right, cool. So we had discussed a little bit on the ERC credit. Okay, there's the nature of the solution that we're looking for today, the conversation for today, which is not particularly specifically for nonprofits. It is something that we're as we're doing the information and the investigation, we're gathering our information, and now we're going to share it so folks can check it out and see if they're interested in this solution set. Okay, cool. So Cary, if you would please share with us information about yourself, about autism and your experience with it, about your nonprofit organization and what it does, so that the folks and the audience can hear it, see it, and then if they want to connect, there's links down below.
Wonderful. So we go. I go first.
Yes, you're Cary, right?
Okay.
You're Cary.
um, hello, everybody. So I am one of the founders and director of Texas Autism Academy. Our full name is ASD Hope Inc. DBA Texas Autism Academy. We have opened a school. We're actually starting our 7th year, which I'm really amazed with because it's actually gone by quite quickly. Just to give you a little bit, we are a school specific for children with autism. We take students with an autism diagnosis. However, it's a medical or educational diagnosis. It doesn't matter. But we are a school. So academics is a priority for our students. A little background about me was that I was, and my other partner, business partner, who's also the other founder, we were both public school teachers. And when we were in public school, the influx of students coming in with an autism diagnosis and or autistic characteristics was increasing. In fact, just to give you some numbers, we opened our school in 2017, right after Harvey hit. At the time, the CDC was recording 1 in 69 students. Since we've been open, the numbers are now 1 in 44. Wow. And that's just over the 6 years that we've been fully open. So it certainly is increasing. But
congratulations. I think this is amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a tremendous feat. Keep going. Sorry.
But when we were in public school, we saw a lot of these kiddos. They were just being underserved. Not trying to talk poorly about the public school system, but it's just set up for the masses. It's not set up for that individual needs for a lot of these students. And autism is it's different in every child that has it. It does not look the same. In fact, you'll hear a lot of parents say, um, it's just not the same. It looks different in every. Once you've met one person with autism, then you've met one person with autism. That's how different it is amongst um, the students or the children, the adults, the young adults. So anyway, we saw this and we thought we wanted to really provide an academic school. One of the misnomers, I guess you could say, about autism is it's a cognitive disability. Autism is not a cognitive disability. It is a neurodiverse disability. It's a delay, and it pretty much focuses on social and behavioral aspects. 50% or more of children with autism are of intelligence to above intelligence, but it's meeting their behavioral and social needs that has not come up yet to where it needs to be in the public school system. So we knew if we could tap into that, that we knew that we could tap into them academically, and we have proven that for sure. These kids have made tremendous progress and growth since we've started. We've had non-readers come to us that are reading. We've had students that have come to us not knowing how to add, but you have to address a lot of the behaviors and the social component first. Yes, sir.
What is the age range? The age range that you're referring to when it goes to like the kids and the reading, not reading, just so that folks can understand the breadth of your operations.
Sure. Age range for our school, we grow every year. So when we first started in 2017, we were at ages 4 to 10. So now it's 2023 and we're ages 4 to 17. We plan on going 4 to 17 for this fall. We plan on going up to age 22. We gradually add as we move up. Our kids get older as well. But we wanted to be able to accommodate so many with autism. And a lot of schools that are out there per se that help support autism, they kind of have a stop date, so parents want to know, well, what do I do once my child's 11 and I can no longer receive services? Well, we're not that option. We continue our services until they're 22. What was your second question? I'm sorry.
I didn't have a particular one, but I was just curious about if they get to graduate after this, when they turn 18, or is it like they're 22, but you said 17? So I'm curious about this.
Sure. So I'm sorry to say most of our students have come to us significantly below grade level. So they are still performing below grade level, but they have mastered an immense amount. They have gained. It's those we touch on the gaps. We build all those gaps. So, for example, a student that we have that has come from us from fourth grade from public school could be working on a math level of first grade, a reading level of first grade.
Yeah.
Well, now that fourth grader is entering fifth grade year, and now they're reading on second, third grade level. So we're getting them closer and closer to filling those gaps that are there. And then the age of graduation, because they are a bit behind, it's going to take a little bit longer for them to graduate. The wonderful news is that we are an accredited school. We just got our full accreditation. We've worked very hard for that. So what that means is we are recognized nationally.
Wow.
And students can earn high school diplomas and that are recognized nationwide by colleges.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have a lot of students that will be able to attend college in some form and fashion.
Gotcha.
But our students work so very hard that they deserve a high school diploma.
Yeah. And to be clear with regards to how you guys fund, you guys are completely private, is this correct?
100%. We are a nonprofit. We receive no federal or state funds at all. It is all tuition based, or we've received some donations over the years.
Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the natures of the conversations that we're going to have, is solutions for these types of this kind of the type of solutions that you're providing for the fundraising, right? The fundraising, because I mean, there's the nature of actually solve autism, and then there's the nature of like funding that, you know what I mean? Because there's situations that have to get funded with regards to like operational costs and things of all that stuff. And so we're looking to create a situation where you have your solutions in play with regards to your maybe your taxes, or we're going to be discussing a little bit on Mitchell, and then also with regards to like funding. That way you guys can hone in on solving and helping the kids in that situation. That way your solution is more efficient. Everything works, flows a little bit better, because everybody's kind of a little bit more aligned with regards to what the competencies are, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool. So Mitchell, all right, it's going to be discussing a little bit of support to maybe on the funding side, because you have solutions here, right? And so we're looking on the funding side to see if there's a way to credit the nonprofit through the ERC application, right? That is the nature of the question that we have for Mitchell, to see what he knows. And this is not just the nonprofit side; it's also on the private sector side. I mean, not the private, but on the profit section side, right? So yes, so if you're interested in hearing and learning about ERC a little bit, Mitchell Sosa has some information. He's a CPA, SSVV, APV, and he's going to describe to us a little bit about his experience as a CPA, with regards to the ERC credit, what folks can expect. And so, Mitchell, please, thank you very much for being here. If you wouldn't mind sharing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for having me. So I'll just give you a quick rundown on the ERC credit. So this was the credit that was provided to eligible employers during the COVID pandemic to assist with any wages that they might have paid out to employees. So the way the credit is written is that it's for eligible employers that paid qualified wages to employees beginning when effectively the pandemic started in middle of March 2020 through the first 3 quarters. So basically through the end of September of 2021 is when the credit basically qualifies generally. So it's not just for for-profit business, it's also for nonprofits. All you have to do to be an eligible employer is have employees either in your business or in your nonprofit. And as long as you are filing quarterly reports with the IRS for employees, so generally like the 941 forms, then you generally would be qualified to get this credit. Additionally, there are some requirements where if you can show that you had a drop in receipts from 2020 compared to the prior year 2019, or from 2021 compared to the prior year 2020, you could qualify for this credit. So basically, you have to show a decline in receipts that were due to the pandemic, or the government issued an order that shut down your business. So if you had maybe like a bar or restaurant, and numerous states and localities issued they issued orders saying that business can no longer be operating due to the pandemic. If your business was impacted for that, or your nonprofit was impacted due to that, then you could qualify for this credit. The way you qualify for the credit is through your normal 941 process. There's a little bit of a caveat in there too. You can do an amendment for a prior period if it already passed. Or if this were going on and you haven't filed them at all, you could do that on the original one. But yeah, Roberto, what's going on?
So this is divided, but it's for the full year, or but there's like a division factor with regards to like what you can claim, right?
It's by quarter actually. So it's by fiscal quarter. So first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. Basically, the way you file your 941s is by calendar quarter. So that's the way that you file for this credit. And if you were to file and get a rebate, the IRS would actually it wouldn't just send you one lump sum. It generally would send you, multiple checks or multiple direct deposits for each specific quarter identified. And there is a little bit of a trick. If you were to get these funds, let's say in this year, if you got some ERC credits for 2023 and you got money, let's say they sent you some checks, well, you would not put those as income in 2023. You would actually have to go back and amend your business or nonprofit tax filings for those years to claim them in the prior period. So you'd have to file some amendments. So that's one little thing that some people miss when they get this credit. So you have to be careful for that.
Okay. Okay. Now, I believe, Cary, what questions do you have? What questions do you have? I had a couple, but I just kind of got a couple
One,
answers too, so I'm thinking about my.
let me throw in one more little
Sure.
caveat there. Also, if you can't double dip. So if you paid wages under like the PPP program, and you qualified for that due to the wages that you paid, you can't double up and also claim the ERC. It's one or the other. So just a heads up on that little caveat.
Okay, so we did receive a PPP loan during that March 2020 till, well, from March 2020 till that lump sum probably in May of 2020. So that would disqualify us.
It could disqualify you for the wages that you paid during that initial the amount calculated initially. But if let's say you qualified for some ERC credits, for 2021, where you still were suffering a downturn and those particular wages in that subsequent year weren't part of the original PPP, then you could, potentially get some ERC credit for that period.
Okay.
Okay. So
That's
a little
good
bit
to
of
know. Thank you.
investigations. You would need, in order for you to get this credit, you will need your 941 filings, right? Or I guess for each year, whatever it is, right? And then what else would you need to get this filing properly done, I guess, or amended? If it's a credit that you haven't claimed, right? This is something that if you're looking at it now, it's because you never claimed it, assuming.
Right. So you could, if your business was shut down due to a government order, it'd be handy to just have proof of that order, whether it was local or state, just have some proof that your business was affected in that way. Otherwise, you could qualify due to a decline in your gross receipts. So basically, if your revenue went down in, let's say, second quarter 2020 compared to second quarter 2019,
Gotcha.
as you're comparing, then boom, you could qualify in that
Gotcha.
quarter for that. So you have to really, you don't have to have exceptional bookkeeping, but if you can get your books in order and
Gotcha.
make sure that you have, your revenue by month, by
Gotcha.
quarter, and you can do that comparison, then that'll help you know if you can qualify.
Gotcha. I believe I did that exercise actually that particular year. Cary, have you done this? Have you looked back each quarter? Because it's not a full year deal. You can actually segment it by quarter, right? So if in any one of these quarters, your gross revenue was less, it just has to be less or a particular number less. Do you remember that?
You talking to Mitchell? Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
I think it has to be like 5% less or 10% less, or just less. So
The way it's
go ahead.
Yeah, the way it's written is just the decline in gross receipts.
Less. Sounds like less to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look at each quarter. If any one of the gross receipts on the payment side is lower, there's a potential for you to qualify. So you got to look back at those years because you never claimed it. So that money is kind of sitting there if you look at those quarters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so one thing is, you can reach out to, your CPA or your tax people to see if you qualify under the rules. The other thing is that the IRS actually issued some alerts just to prevent scams from happening because, obviously this is something that happened quickly and, it's prone to being abused or, scams happening. There's a lot of kind of like ERC credit mills that just say that they'll get you, huge amounts of money and they may be filing whatever. So just try to go with someone reputable that has a good experience and that's not just some shop that'll file whatever and potentially get you in trouble. But as long as it's a reputable dealer that's helping you, then you should be fine.
Okay, wonderful. If you have questions or if it's anything that seems that you're looking to find more information, you'll find links below to get in touch with either Mitchell, with the Premium Advantage. If you have any questions, free discovery appointment. So keep that in mind as you go through this investigation process of, let me get, that's what the nature of this is for folks to have points of reference so they can make a more informed decision. It's my perception. That's one of the biggest things about this whole thing. So many of those is kind of inevitable. Anyway,
is there a deadline for filing?
Oh, great question.
Actually, so I don't have the hard date here, but yeah, it's I believe it's supposed to be closed off here this year. So if you haven't done them already, you need to kind of get on the ball already and submit,
Okay.
do your amendments if you already filed those, just to get them in there already.
Okay. So it's one of those things where the quicker the better you can try to apply for these credits. If nothing is guaranteed. It's a matter of submitting your application, getting looking at your paperwork, seeing if you potentially qualify, submitting the paperwork for that request, and then see what they say. Pretty much. But if you don't do it, you're not gonna
You
get
won't know.
it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Cary, that you have at this particular moment with regards to the ERC credit?
No, that answered a lot actually,
Okay.
because I know that when the information that we've received, it's not as explicit, obviously, as with all the caveats, if you will, Mitchell,
Yeah.
that are involved. So,
Yeah, I would say you are definitely, it's reasonable for definitely to go through the process. The big one is the per quarter analysis of the gross receipts, which I have no idea what those would possibly look like. You have to check per quarter and then go, okay, yes, yes, yes. This one and this one. You may have 2 quarters that qualify, not the whole thing.
And there
so
were
if we go
some,
back as far as
one of the things though, like you just want to be sure you have somebody that can research the detail of the periods in your particular situation, because as you remember, during this time period, there were numerous laws that passed related to the pandemic. So some of them overlap or conflict, and you just want to be sure that you're meeting the requirements as of, each particular case for in your situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. If you don't know if you found the credit, how could you find out for sure?
It, it
Trick question,
so
right?
if you
That's what
haven't,
I'm talking about.
you should be able to see if there was any credits claimed through your 941s that it were submitted. So if you don't have a copy of those and you
Gotcha.
use like professional provider, then I would reach out to them just to be sure that if something was claimed already or not. But generally, if you're a small business owner or a smaller nonprofit and you would see, either a check come in from the
Yeah,
IRS
I
or
did,
some
I
type of
did.
direct
But I don't know
deposit,
if it was for all the
then
quarters because you said it should send you a stagger. I'm like, I only got a single payment, and there are 4 quarters. And that year, yeah, it wasn't like a this year. It was more like a this year. You know what I mean? So I'm
right.
thinking I'm gonna look back at each quarter just because of this and go, oh, okay, I may have missed a quarter.
Well, if you did get let's say that you got a check, usually on the check it identifies the period that it's for. If you got a
Busted it.
direct
Busted it
deposit,
that check so fast.
yeah,
I'm gonna look back at the history, see if it's in the scans.
right.
Okay, okay, okay. And anything
But
else,
no,
Cary? Go ahead. I'm
if you
sorry.
do have a question on that, I mean, you can reach out to the IRS. They have been hiring due to there was a recent tax law that improved their staffing and funding. So generally, the call times are a little bit lower now. So if you do have a question, you can always call in and
Okay.
try to just check on your particular business account.
Nice. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll give that. Okay, cool. All right. Well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you all, for being here. Cary, thank you very much for being here.
thank you for having me.
Mitchell,
It's
thank
a
you very much for
pleasure.
being here.
Sure, no problem. Thank you for having me.
I'll make sure I put the links that you guys should share with me on the bottom of the descriptions if folks want to reach out. If you have questions about the nonprofits, about autism, and about obviously CPA services from Mitchell. Cool.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Everybody
it.
have a good afternoon. See you guys later.
Yes.
Thank you.
You
Bye bye.
too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.